Hey everybody, we are on welcome back, day 11 of our collective isolation experience. It is Friday, March 27th, 2020. Friday, March 27th, 2020, day 11. And how are y'all doing? Is everybody hanging in there? Is everybody staying calm and staying cool? Um, our governor finally declared a stay-at-home order, which basically means all non-essential organizations and businesses will shut down at midnight tonight. I was looking at that order earlier, and it's funny because it, you know, they list all of the things that are all of the businesses and so forth that are considered essential that'll stay open. You know, some of them are pretty obvious: hospitals and medical and things like that, pharmacies. But I think if they listed the all the businesses that were non-essential, it would be a much shorter list. There's a lot of things that are on that list. But hey, everybody has to do their part. A quote that I heard today that I liked was that the virus doesn't move, we move. And if we stop moving, the virus stops moving. That feels like something that's really easy to understand, but obviously has been difficult to implement. So, stop moving. And that brings me to another thing that I've been talking about, which is, I'm not a Buddhist or into Zen or any of that stuff, but I like reading about some of the ideas of mindfulness, and some of those things have helped me with my anxiety. And it occurred to me that we've been forced, right, dragged, sort of kicking and screaming into the reality that a lot of these mindfulness teachers like Eckhart Tolle and Ram Dass, these guys have been talking about for decades and decades, right? Because all we have been left with now, is the present. All that facade, all of the sort of cultural and societal and friendship and organizational um, uh, barriers that we put between us have been stripped off. We're now sort of naked to ourselves. All the movies are gone, and all the bookstores are gone, and the libraries are closed, and all of this external stuff is, general. I mean, unless you're in the healthcare industry and so forth, but all of this external stuff is, especially in the arts and entertainment industry, is gone. And we are now forced to be mindful of having an uncertain future. Therefore, what's left, is sort of us standing on the lip of this great chasm. Being suddenly aware of our place, in this universe, in our lives, in the world, and having to fall back on internalizing how we're going to get through this, internalizing the anxiety and the uncertainty. And that can be complicated, right? And I mean, one small thing that I do, that I've learned, especially in sort of my writing habits, is to sort of create an anchor place, literally a geographic anchor, like my office, for example, where I'm comfortable enough being raw, being authentic in. It's like It's it 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 allows me to internalize. Um, so, if any of you out there having trouble, having a hard time with this, especially if you're extroverts, like I'm an extrovert and I really like being around people and I like going out and doing things and being in front of people. So, my suggestion would be build your altar. Doesn't matter who that altar is to. Just build your altar and use that to hook yourself onto. Like I said, like an anchor. When the ship starts shaking, you need an anchor, even if it's temporary, even if it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes a day. Find your altar and go there. And you can internalize this, and it'll help you get through it. So, yeah. So let's, shout out today is going to be my great friend Casey Matthews. Casey is a pretty amazing author and inspirational speaker, and she wrote this book about her daughter's birth. The book is called Preemie, Preemie, and the book is about the birth of her daughter, who subtitle Lessons in Love, Life, and Motherhood. And her daughter, when her daughter was born, she was 4 months preemie, and she was born at 1 pound, under 2 pounds, like 1 pound and 11 ounces or something like that. And Casey writes really beautifully about that experience and what it meant to her and to her life. And I was really honored to have her do a blurb for my upcoming book, which she graciously allowed to do. So I will put all of her. Oh, and she's doing. She does these Facebook sort of coffee meetings where people get together and talk about stuff. Hold on, excuse me for a second. That's an allergy, by the way, so don't be afraid. So she does these Facebook meetups on her page. She was just there with her daughter the other day. She's doing one on the 31st, which I guess is next Tuesday. Sort of a Zoom get together where you can share your experiences and things. She's awesome. So all of her information down below. Give her some attention and take a look at her books. For the poem today, it's been a couple of days since I read one of mine, so I'm going to read one of mine today. A few months ago, I'll tell you this whole thing has actually, I don't have a ton of time right now to do big writing, but I have a lot of little time here and there. So one of the upsides is that it actually has allowed me to do a little bit more poetry and to focus a little bit on that. And I did a thing. I took a picture of Uma probably last fall on the way back from one of our tower climbs, and she was exhausted, and she fell asleep in the back of the car, in the car seat, clutching these flowers that she had picked, and she was asleep, but she was holding these, white knuckling these flowers, And I posted that picture, and a friend of mine, Courtney, who I'm also going to be featuring in an upcoming episode, mentioned that sounds like the title of a poem, falling asleep clutching the flowers. So indeed it is. So here's our poem for the day. Falling asleep clutching flowers. Here we go. Flowers to ward off spirits, flowers to perfume the air, flowers of no distinction. Boundaryless, your understanding exists only in terms of, can I pick them or can't I? Any space that can be filled, from clover to daisies to puffs of the dandelion. If the pickings are slim, for mama, you say, but really for you. a chance to bring the dirt and color with you into the car, on your lap. You fall asleep as the road zips by, clutching a bundle of wildflowers in your hands, knuckles white. Like the actress Judith Anderson, with her 1932 portrait, her face passive, a massive bouquet her arms can barely get around. Like Diana, in a pink dress, walking a line of children, the flowers a shield against cruel judgment. Like the two little boys in knickers, holding hands, grasping flowers as they walk through Covent Garden in London, while the workhorses look on. Like sad Saint Therese of Lisieux, a bundle of flowers, entwined with Christ on the cross, held like a baby. Do the flowers allow your dreams to flourish, give you insight into the mystery of your expanding universe? Does it feel of those stems buried in your palm feed your desire to connect with the earth? Or is it just flowers, baby? The motion of the car and your long day? Does it matter? Falling asleep clutching flowers. We're heading into our second weekend of our isolation experience. Reach out. Even if it's just pixels, this is what we have right now. Create your altar and let it ground you. We have to live with ourselves, so find a way to ground yourself. And make sure you stay in touch because we're all we have. So, wash your hands, and I will see you again in the morning. Take it easy, everybody.